Let's begin with a truth so fundamental, yet so profoundly misunderstood, that its revelation will change the very foundation upon which you have built your life. The universe does not give you what you want. It gives you, with perfect, unwavering, and impersonal precision, a reflection of who you are. Stop for a moment. Let the echo of that statement settle into the quiet spaces of your mind. For within that simple sentence lies the answer to every question you have ever asked about your life. It holds the key to why your most fervent prayers have sometimes been met with silence, why your vision boards, filled with vibrant images of your desires, gather dust while your reality remains unchanged, why your affirmations, repeated with desperate conviction, often feel like shouting into the wind. You have been playing the game with the wrong rulebook. You have been trying to solve the equation with a missing variable. You have been taught that creation is an act of asking, of chasing, of doing. You have been told to want it more, to try harder, to visualize with more intensity. And so you have pushed, and you have forced, and you have strained, believing that the sheer force of your desire would one day be enough to break through the dam of your circumstances. But in doing so, you have been engaging in a great, cosmic misunderstanding. You have been trying to convince a mirror to change its reflection without ever realizing that you are the one standing before it. Today, we are going to dismantle that misunderstanding. We are not here to learn another technique. We are here to remember a fundamental law of existence. We are here to shift from being a seeker of outcomes to becoming the architect of our reality. The secret to quantum manifestation is not about adding another layer of effort. It is about subtracting the layers of identity that are not in alignment with your desires. It is a process not of doing, but of being. The quantum field, the infinite sea of potential from which all matter is born, does not respond to your words. It does not respond to your pictures. It does not even respond to your thoughts in the way you've been taught. It responds to one thing, and one thing only: your energetic signature, your state of being, the complex, unified frequency that you are broadcasting in every single moment. This broadcast is a symphony composed of your conscious thoughts, your subconscious beliefs, your emotional set point, and the very resonance of your physical body. It is the sum total of who you are at an energetic level. And the universe, as the great quantum mirror, has no choice but to reflect that state of being back to you as the conditions of your life. So if you have been wanting, you have been broadcasting the frequency of not having. And the universe, in its perfect, non-judgmental way, has been giving you more experiences of not having. This is not a punishment. It is physics. It is the law. And the moment you truly understand this, the struggle ceases, the game changes, and you finally pick up the one tool you have always possessed, the power to choose who you are. Let us explore the energy of wanting. It is the most common state of the unenlightened creator. It feels active. It feels productive. It feels like you are doing something to move towards your goal. But energetically, it is a declaration of lack. Every time you say, "I want more money," the powerful, unspoken subtext that the universe receives is, "My current reality is one of not enough money." Every time you desperately plead, "I want to find a partner," the frequency you are emitting is one of profound loneliness and incompleteness. The wanting itself becomes the anchor that holds you in the very reality you wish to escape. Imagine your desired reality, abundance, love, perfect health, is a radio station broadcasting at a specific frequency, say 101.1 FM. It is playing right now. The music is already in the air, a wave of potential filling the room. The state of wanting is like sitting in front of the radio, which is currently tuned to 88.5 FM, your current reality of lack, and screaming at it, I want to hear 101.1 FM. Please, please play 101.1 FM. You can beg all day. You can visualize the radio dial being on 101.1. You can write affirmations that say, I am listening to 101.1. But as long as the receiver is physically tuned to 88.5, you will only ever hear the static and the unwanted music of that station. The only thing that will ever change the music is the simple, quiet act of reaching out and changing the dial. Changing your state of being is changing the dial. It is the act of tuning your own frequency to match the frequency of the reality you wish to experience. When you become a vibrational match, you don't have to want it anymore, because on an energetic level, you already are it. The music of that new reality simply begins to play in your experience, not because you chased it, but because you tuned to it. This is why forceful manifestation so often fails. When you try to force a visualization with gritted teeth, when you are trying to make yourself feel abundant, the underlying energy is one of struggle and desperation. The universe doesn't hear your pretty mental pictures. It feels the desperate strain behind them. It feels the frequency of someone who is trying very, very hard to get something they believe they don't have. And so, it delivers more experiences that require you to try very, very hard and to not have. The shift is subtle but absolute. It is the shift from the tension of wanting to the relaxation of knowing. So, what is this who you are that the universe is constantly reading and reflecting? It is not your personality. It is not your job title. It is not the roles you play as a parent, a child, or a friend. It is your subconscious blueprint, your identity at the level of core belief. This blueprint is the master program that runs your life. It was written, for the most part, in the first 7 years of your life. During this period, your brain was in a theta brainwave state, a state of hypnosis. You were a pure receiver, downloading your understanding of reality directly from your environment, your parents, your culture, your early experiences. You learned what was possible for you. You learned how much love you were worthy of. You learned your set point for happiness, for struggle, for wealth, for health. You formed an identity. Perhaps you learned, I am someone who has to work extremely hard for every little thing. Or, I am someone who is always a little bit behind. Or, I am someone who gets close to what they want, but never quite gets it. Or, I am someone who is not seen or heard. These are not just thoughts. They are deeply ingrained programs that operate 95% of your day automatically. They dictate your unconscious choices, your emotional reactions, and most importantly, your baseline vibrational frequency. You can spend the 5% of your conscious mind repeating affirmations like, I am wealthy. But if the 95% subconscious program is running the script, I am someone who is always in debt, which signal do you think the universe is going to receive most clearly? Your life is a printout of your subconscious programs. The universe is not judging them. It is simply reading the code you are running and manifesting it into physical form with perfect fidelity. This is why real change is not about changing your thoughts. It is about changing your identity. It is about becoming a quantum hacker of your own subconscious mind, finding the old, limiting lines of code and consciously rewriting them. The you that you think you are is largely a collection of past experiences and inherited beliefs. But the real you, the eternal you, the consciousness observing all of it, is pure potential. You are the programmer who has forgotten that you wrote the program and have come to believe you are the program itself. The awakening is the moment the programmer wakes up at the keyboard. The real work of quantum creation, then, is the identity shift. This is the art of choosing and rehearsing a new state of being until it becomes your new subconscious default. This is not faking it. Faking it is an act of pretending on the outside while feeling like an imposter on the inside. That is still an incoherent signal. This is about being it on the inside until the outside has no choice but to conform. The process begins with a clear decision. Who do you have to be to naturally have the reality you desire? Do not focus on what you would have. Focus on the state of being. The person who has millions of dollars is not defined by the number in their bank account. They are defined by their identity. Their identity is one of abundance, of freedom, of resourcefulness, of security. They don't spend their day worrying about money. The thought barely crosses their mind because their subconscious blueprint is one of enough. The person who is in a loving, sacred partnership is not defined by the other person. They are defined by their identity of being loved, cherished, and worthy. They operate from a place of wholeness, not of needing someone to complete them. Your first step is to define this new identity with clarity. What are the core feelings and beliefs of this version of you? Write them down. Feel them. The feeling is the secret. The feeling is the prayer. The feeling is you, tuning the radio dial. Once you have defined this new identity, you must begin to rehearse it. This is the practical how-to. Elite athletes do this all the time. A professional skier doesn't just practice on the slopes. They sit in a quiet room, close their eyes, and mentally rehearse the perfect run over and over again. They feel the cold air on their skin. They hear the sound of the skis on the snow. They feel the contraction of their muscles at every turn. Their brain cannot tell the difference between the imagined event and the real event. They are firing and wiring the same neural pathways. They are conditioning their brain and body to make that perfect run their automatic default. You must do the same for your new state of being. Every day, take 10 or 15 minutes to sit in a quiet space and mentally rehearse being this new person. Do not just visualize the end goal. Rehearse the identity. How does this new you wake up in the morning? What is the first feeling in their body? Is it peace? Is it excitement? How do they handle a challenge at work? Do they react with stress and panic or with calm, creative problem solving? How do they interact with others? Do they come from a place of insecurity or a place of confident self-worth? Feel the feelings of this identity in your body. Let the chemistry of this new state wash over you. When you do this consistently, you are literally overriding the old neural pathways with new ones. You are installing new software. You are providing the quantum field with a new, coherent, and powerful blueprint to work with. You are moving from the identity of the person who is wanting the goal to the identity of the person who is a vibrational match to the goal. This process of identity shifting requires you to master your emotional state. Your emotion is your energetic signature, made manifest. It is the engine of creation. However, a great misconception is that you must feel ecstatically happy and positive all the time to manifest. This is not only untrue, it's an exhausting recipe for failure. The goal is not constant bliss. The goal is to shift your default emotional set point. Most people's default state is a low-grade hum of anxiety, worry, or frustration. Their energetic home base is one of stress. From this state, it is nearly impossible to create a new, joyful reality. The vibrational gap is simply too large. The real work is to consciously cultivate a new default state. And the most powerful and magnetic default state you can achieve is one of calm, neutral peace. A state of knowing that all is well. This state of inner peace is a frequency of coherence. It is a signal of trust. It tells the universe that your well-being is not dependent on external conditions. When you can find this place of peace within, You are no longer operating from the energy of lack or needing. You are operating from a place of wholeness. This is an incredibly attractive magnetic state. From this calm, neutral baseline, it is very easy to then access elevated emotions like gratitude, joy, and love when you choose to. But peace is your foundation. So, how do you cultivate this? Through practices like meditation, through mindful breathing, through spending time in nature, through consciously choosing to disengage from drama and fear-based media. It is the daily practice of returning to your center over and over again, until that center becomes your new home. This is the shift from a reactive state, being tossed around by the waves of life, to a creative state, being the calm, deep ocean beneath the waves. As you commit to this work of rewriting your blueprint and rehearsing your new identity, you will inevitably encounter resistance. This is a crucial phase, and understanding it will save you from giving up. The moment you decide to change, every part of your old self that is not in alignment with that change will be brought to the surface to be seen and released. Your subconscious mind, whose primary job is to keep you safe by keeping you the same, will sound the alarm. It will say, "This is new. This is unfamiliar. It's not safe." And it will trigger your old patterns of thought and feeling to try and pull you back to the familiar comfort of your old identity, even if that identity was a miserable one. You might decide to embody an identity of wealth, and suddenly you will be flooded with more thoughts of lack and fear than ever before. You might decide to embody an identity of self-love, and you will be confronted with a tidal wave of every memory and insecurity that tells you you are unworthy. This is not a sign that it's not working. This is a sign that it is working. This is the detoxification process. It is the old programming coming up into your conscious awareness, presenting itself to you and asking, "Are you sure you want to delete me?" This is who we have always been. And in that moment, you have a choice. You can believe the old program, get sucked back into the old emotional patterns, and reinforce the old identity. Or you can look at the old thought, the old fear, with compassion and detachment. You can say, "I see you. I thank you for trying to protect me. But I am no longer that person. I am choosing a new way of being." And then you consciously, deliberately, return to rehearsing your new state. This is the battle for your new reality, and it is fought and won entirely on the battlefield of your own inner world. The resistance is not your enemy. It is the final boss in the game, the gatekeeper to the next level of your evolution. And you defeat it not with struggle, but with awareness, and with the persistent, gentle choice to embody your new self over and over again. This brings us to the practical application of this principle in your daily life. How do you be this new person when your bank account, your relationships, and your physical body are still reflecting the old data? This is the art of living in the end, a concept taught by the great mystic Neville Goddard. It does not mean being delusional or fiscally irresponsible. It means living from the assumption that your wish is already a fulfilled fact in the quantum realm. It is an internal posture. You ask yourself throughout the day, how would the version of me who has already achieved my desire handle this moment? You receive an unexpected bill. The old identity panics. The new identity, the wealthy you, feels it, assesses it, and trusts that the resources to handle it are available. The assumption is, "I can handle this." You have a difficult conversation with a colleague. The old identity of "I am not respected" shrinks. The new identity of "I am confident and valued" speaks their truth calmly and clearly. The assumption is, "My voice matters." You are home alone on a Saturday night. The old identity of "I am lonely" despairs. The new identity of "I am whole and loved" uses the time to joyfully recharge, to connect with themselves, knowing that their inner state of wholeness is what magnetizes a healthy partner to them. The assumption is, my own company is a beautiful place to be. You are making hundreds of micro-decisions all day long. With every decision, with every reaction, you are either casting a vote for your old identity or casting a vote for your new one. You are either reinforcing the past or rehearsing the future. Living in the end is the conscious practice of consistently casting your vote for the future you desire. It is a quiet, internal revolution. No one else needs to see it. But the quantum field registers every single choice, and as you accumulate more and more moments of being the new you, you reach a tipping point. The scales tip. Your new identity becomes your dominant frequency. It becomes your new subconscious default. And at that moment, the quantum mirror has no choice. It must begin to reflect your new reality back to you. The physical manifestation, when it comes, will feel both magical and completely natural. It will come in a way you likely did not expect. It will flow into your life with a sense of grace and ease that was absent when you were struggling and forcing. And when it arrives, you will realize the most profound truth of all. The outer prize, the money, the relationship, the health, was never the real goal. It was the catalyst. It was the carrot that the universe dangled to inspire you to undertake the real journey, the journey of becoming. The real prize is the person you had to become to receive it. The real prize is your new identity, the freedom, the peace, the confidence, the self-love that you had to cultivate to become a vibrational match to your desire. That is the true, permanent creation. Because once you have shifted your state of being, you have not just manifested one thing. You have changed your point of attraction for everything. You have learned the very mechanism of creation. You have remembered that you are not a victim of your reality, but its source. You understand that the universe was never a distant, judgmental entity to be pleaded with. It is an impartial, infinitely intelligent field of energy that is constantly, lovingly, and perfectly mirroring the truth of who you are being. So the question is no longer, what do I want? The question is, and always has been, who do I choose to be? The choice is yours. The power is yours. It always has been. Today is the day you stop trying to convince the mirror. Today is the day you remember who is standing in front of it. You are the consciousness that chooses. You are the energy that creates. You are the architect of your reality. So, begin. Choose your new state of being. And then watch as the universe rearranges itself to show you the magnificent truth of who you have decided to be.